Welcome to my channel. I'm Des, I'm Arrow, and I like to read. So, I'm still not 100% sure on how the format of these videos are. If you did watch the video where I was blabbing way too much about myself to introduce myself because I blab a lot, you'll notice I'm wearing the same clothes. I decided to film this immediately after. With the other things I have to do, it's just easier to just film 2 videos, one after the other. I've got time. I'm waiting for something to drive anyway, and for my brother to come over. It's great. I had time. So it was just easier. So that's why Dungeon Crawler Carl shirt's still on with my little Javik necklace and Sanji necklace. So that's why I look the same. But anyway, at the moment, I am still thinking about doing wrap-up videos and TBR videos. Having this separate, there's a possibility that maybe I end up combining them together where I go over my TBR after I do my wrap-up. We'll see how that goes. I'm separating at the moment. I'm experimenting. A new channel, new way. I'm experimenting. So, yeah, I will be finding my rhythm. That is exactly how I phrased it in my notes. So yes, my June TBR. And yes, I had to have notes because, gosh darn it, how else am I going to look at all these books on my screen that's to the side of the camera and read all their synopsis or whatever I'm reading? I literally forgot what I was reading for next month until I pulled this out. I was like, well, I know 3 books. What are my other ones? I forgot. So, yeah. I'll be going through my TBR. I have a certain system, so it's not 100% set in stone because I am bad and I will differentiate it. I will go off it. I can't say words sometimes. Y'all know what I mean. I sometimes will go off and say something or read other things. So yeah, there are some things that I try to keep in stone. The definite thing that is set in stone is I have been doing adventure in Eldia because of the Magical Readathon. I actually did Magical Readathon way back in the day when it was an old version. I did it for a year. That was back when I was trying to do reading journals, and last year it was a little too late. I was really only able to do Lightfall, but I'd made my character. I did everything for spring, and I've been doing the monthly readings with the adventure in Eldia. You will see some Magical Readathon here. I thought I might eventually have a character once we get closer to the August part of it, that I introduce my character and stuff. So you'll see some Magical Readathon. It just won't be everything, but I do have to have my monthly book. So, yeah. My character, his name's Emery. So his place last month was 5B. So for this month, I have the choice of either doing 6B, which is solve traps, or 6E, which is to fight a water demon. Fighting a water demon does sound really cool, but because the kind of path, I already had pre-mapped out my path, because I am like that. So I already knew what I wanted to do, and so Emery, he's going to turn right, and he found a cave that is riddled with traps, which means I have to read a mystery in order to proceed. I don't usually read mystery. It's not like I dislike mystery. I grew up playing the Nancy Drew games a lot, and a lot of the time, I don't know, I think it's because I don't indulge in mystery, which is why usually I guess who the person is. And it doesn't feel like if I read something that's mysterious and I don't guess, it's immediately like, oh, this is getting a higher rating just because of that. So I think I'm just picky. I think it's just because I don't read enough mystery to I don't know. Anyway, I was thinking I really like Nancy Drew. What could be a good equivalent for that as an adult? I was thinking Agatha Christie. It's different than the kind of mystery that my Nana reads. I don't think the kind she reads, which is the more popular kind, at least at the library, the more popular kind that I see getting checked out. I don't know if that's really my cup of tea, but I feel like that would be the good. I like how Nancy Drew is. Let's try some Agatha Christie. I don't know if that pipeline makes sense at all to anyone but me. I don't know, it made sense to my Nana. So, so I guess not just me. But I thought I'd try reading some Agatha Christie. I've actually never read any of her books. I've watched one film that was an adaptation, sort of, like its own twist on it, of one of her books. And I did really enjoy it. Yeah, I know how a couple of her books ends, but she has a lot of books, and I have never read any of them. So I looked up a little thing that was kind of just giving a ranking of her best books, and I was going at the ones I didn't know on the top that I didn't know how it ended. So the one that I picked, which I will be checking out from the library, I have it so it'll be set on hold at the very beginning of the month. I'll have it sent over from one of the other locations, and I'll be reading The Murder at the Vicarage. I can't speak. The Vicarage. The more you try saying a word, the worse it will get. Yeah. So I don't know anything about this book outside of the summary, which as of recording I haven't read yet. I haven't read the summary. Probably should have, but that's the only thing I'm going to know going into the book, because I'll read the summary. Maybe I shouldn't read the summary. Maybe I should go in completely blind. That's a thought. But I thought it would be fun. I've seen people on here solving or attempting to solve like Agatha Christie mysteries. I thought that'd be fun to try doing. Not on camera, though. I don't know if I'd actually enjoy doing this, so I thought it would be fun just to do it myself at, not just read, but to actually maybe take notes and see how it goes. Treat it as I'm the detective. Maybe have fun like that. Because I don't really read mystery, so I thought it'd be fun. I predict that it'll probably be a 3 or 4 star read. I don't think reading an Agatha Christie book's going to be a 5-star for me, because again, I don't usually read mystery, but we'll see how much fun I have. That's just something I definitely had to read. So the other thing that's cemented on my TBR, more so this year than last. So back in the day, when I was trying to do videos in the past, I was part of the Alcrate subscription. Getting back into reading and also seeing how much prettier the subscription editions are than what it used to be in the back of the day, when it was just like a different color palette version of the original title, cover of the book. I can't speak. They're really pretty. I wanted to get back on a subscription. Since I had experience with Alcrate, and their waitlist is not long, I jumped on to the adult fantasy for Alcrate, so I had that subscription. Tried the sci-fi one for a bit, and I wasn't vibing with it, at least with the picks they were having. But yeah, so I got a little behind, though. I did get a little behind on keeping up and making sure I'm actually reading my subscription books. I think everyone has that issue, though. Not just me, even though I'm part of only one subscription. I know I'm not the only person. So one of the things that's been more cemented this year has been to make sure I at least read one of my Alcrate books. For May, I did actually read 2, so that did keep me up a little bit. And I did also skip the May book. So I should be only like 1 book behind in terms of keeping up specifically. So I should be good if I just read 1 for June. So the one that I decided to read for June out of the ones that I still have to read is right here. And that's The Poet Empress by Shen Tao. So it's really pretty. I did not realize holding this microphone would make it really hard to show off how pretty editions are. But I didn't feel like buying another microphone when I already have this for gaming. But yeah, it's a very, very pretty edition. It has red edges, but they're actually not just red edges. When you hold the edges and you move them, you can actually see images, which is really cool. I know that's not like unique to this book, but it's actually my only. I don't have a lot of special editions, so like this was my way of getting some fun special editions, because I only have some special editions, and this was my first edition, my first book with like something like that, and I just thought it was really cool. But yeah, it's a really pretty book. So I figured I'd go ahead and give the synopsis of like the books that I'm reading. So the synopsis, as it is set on Goodreads, is: in the waning years of the Azalea dynasty, the emperor is dying, the land consumed by famine, and poetry magic lost to all except the powerful. Wei Yin is desperate. After the 5th death of a sibling, with her family and village on the brink of starvation, she will do anything to save those she loves, even offer herself as concubine to the cruel heir of the beautiful and brutal Azalea House. But in a twist of fate, the palace stands on the knife edge of civil war, with Wei trapped in its center, at the side of a violent prince. To survive, Wei must harden her heart, rely on her wit, and become dangerous herself, even if it means becoming a poet in a world where women are forbidden to read, and composing the most powerful spell of all, a ballad of death and love. And this one I thought sounded really interesting, which I feel like every single time I was talking about books for any of these scripts, I kept writing the word interesting, but this does sound really interesting. I'm really interested in how the world building is for this, with the magic, like the poetry magic sounds really, I really like the word interesting, apparently. I'm intrigued. There we go, that's a different word. It sounds great. I think the protagonist, she seems like she's going to be a protagonist that I like reading. The whole doing anything to save those you love, even if it means hardening your heart and changing as a person, that's something I enjoy reading. So I really look forward to that and seeing how it goes. So at the moment, I'm predicting that this is going to be at least a 4-star for me. I only give out 5 stars once, maybe twice a month. Some months I don't give out any. 5 stars has to be like, wow, there's something here. And I don't give half ratings, which does make it a little harder. So in my head, I have high and low 5-star ratings, but even just to get a 5, there has to be something. There's that little spark of it for it. So most of my really good books, and books I definitely recommend to people, are 4 stars. A 3-star for me, it means that I liked it, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. When you get to 2 and 1, that's when I didn't like it. A 3-star still, yeah, I liked that book. That was good. It, like a 4-star is definitely something I'd reread, but a 3 I liked. So I don't give out 5s very often. So I'm thinking this is going to be a 4-star. Who knows? It might be a 5, but I'm thinking this is going to be at least a 4-star. Because it sounds pretty good. It sounds pretty good. So one of the other things that is cemented with my TBR, that I stick to, I'm trying to stick to, it's a bit of a newer thing, because I realized how many series I'm in. And that's to at least read one book in a series that is like the next, I need to read a sequel. I need to read at least one sequel. I have a shelf that is just, here's sequels to some of the books you're reading, Des. Read them. Stop. Don't pick up new series. Don't do it. I think at some point, maybe a vlog where I just sit down and I read a couple books in a series, like the next ones. Maybe I could do that as a themed video. That sounds fun. It also sounds like a great way to make sure that I continue my series. And not pick up another book. It's so hard when you like, wow, here's a new book, Like you might get like a book in your subscription, like, wow, here's a new book and it's a new series, and you gotta wait for the next one to come out. And then before you know it, you've got a huge list and you can't actually write all the series you're in the middle of in your journal. This is why I have a dedicated section to it on my Notion. But yeah, so I have to at least read, at least minimum, one sequel. So for that, I will be continuing on with the Dungeon Crawler Carl series. At the time I'm filming, this is actually just a little over halfway into May I'm filming this. I haven't read the 4th book yet of Dungeon Crawler Carl, but I am definitely reading it. Once I pick up one of the books, I get through it. The previous month, I'd read the 3rd book, and it was beginning of the year I read the 2nd one. So the series, I like it enough that I've actually not had too much of an issue getting through. And yeah, should I maybe use this section for a series that maybe I'm struggling to get through? Yes. But also I want to read some more Dungeon Crawler Carl. So the next book that I will be reading after they get to the Feral Gods will be The Butcher's Masquerade. So I do actually have all the books. Nana's a bad influence, and she told me to just go ahead and buy them all because they had them at the store when I went to pick up book 2. Yeah, and I had book 8 on pre-order. So, so far, out of 3 books I've read, all 5 stars. This is great. Like, as you can see, I really like The Witcher. Are they all 5 stars for me? No. So, that says something. So, I'm going to be using this slot to continue reading Dungeon Crawler Carl. And, I can't really give a synopsis or anything for this one. Not only do I still have to read book 4 because of the time that I'm filming this, but also, this is book 5. If I was to give a synopsis, I'd be spoiling stuff if you wanted to start the series. So, I will not be. I'm just going to say I'm predicting it to be another 5-star because, they're great. That shelf's going to be a lot nicer. I bought some really cute bookends of, like, Princess Donut and a couple other, like, another Princess Donut and, like, a little sign. That area is going to be so cute. It's going to be adorable. I'm going to really like that shelf. And because the books are so big, they can't fit on my rotating shelves very well. So that's why it's getting its own dedicated shelf. Especially with the graphic novels coming out. So I already have the first one. And the comic from Free Comic Book Day. So that's also down there. But yeah, that's that one. The next thing that I do that I have been really bad with, though, for my monthly TBRs, I pull 2 random books every month. Do I get to them? Usually not. Because I'm bad. I was really good last year while I was doing it. So far, I've been kind of bad this year. As of recording for May, I've been good. I finished the one. The other one as a library book, so I will be getting that when I go to work tomorrow. And I will do it. I will have both of the ones read, and I will not have been bad for May. I'm thinking setting this in video format will force me to be good and actually read my random books that I pull. So, I'm really extra with how I do my TBR. I've got it written down in 4 places, one of which being it's not a jar, it's a mug. It's a Pochaco mug, because it's cute. Why would I not want to put my, TBR pulls in Pochaco's head? That sounds kind of dark when you say it like that. They're in Pochaco. I recently had gotten a digital print from Etsy of little books. I can put that in the description down below for these because they're very cute. And it wasn't that much for the download, and I printed them on colored paper. Did I already have slips with all the books written down? Yes. Did I rewrite over 150 books just to have them look more cute? Yes, I also did that because, like I said, I'm extra, and this is the whole reason I thought maybe I should just start a channel because I'm going through all this effort just for myself. I don't know, put all this effort for the world if anyone wants to see it too. So I try to do 2 a month, and I'm going to try to actually stick to it. I'm going to look up the synopsis because I don't know what all they're going to be. So most of the books I don't actually own. We'll see if I fall into any that I actually own, and we'll see how it goes. But got some great sound going on. I don't know, I like the sound. So I will pull 2 books. So the first pull for books I gotta read for June. Hope it's a good one. Oh, okay, this one's been on my list for a long time. So this is Truth Witch. Let me look that up real quick. Okay, so Truth Witch is by Susan Dennard. And again, so stuff like this, yeah, it's making me start a new series. So this is why I said I should probably just have a video where I read sequels and have that be a theme. So the synopsis that it gives is, in a continent on the edge of war, two witches hold its fate in their hands. Young witches Sophia and it is I'm really bad at pronouncing names. Isilt? Probably butchering that. Have a habit of finding trouble. After chasing with a powerful guildmaster and his ruthless blood witch bodyguard, the friends are forced to flee their home. Safi must avoid capture at all costs, as she's a rare truth witch, able to discern truth from lies. Many would kill her for her magic, so Safi must keep it hidden, lest she be used in the struggle between empires. And Isilt's true powers are hidden even from herself. In a chance encounter at court, Safi meets Prince Merrick and makes him a reluctant ally. However, this help may not slow down the Blood Witch, now hot on the girl's heels. All Safi and Isilt want is their freedom, but danger lies ahead. With war coming, treaties breaking, and a magical contagion sweeping the land, the friends will have to fight emperors and mercenaries alike, where some will stop at nothing to get their hands on a truth witch. And I don't even remember when I put this on my TBR. This one I think came out in 2016, so it's definitely been some years. It was probably when I was reading last I put this on my TBR. I believe I was watching someone who really liked this series and was reading it, and that's why I put it on my TBR. We will see how it goes. I'm thinking reading this, it'd either be a 3 or 4 star. So I've never read a book by this author, so we'll see. Anyway, I have to read this now. It is okay. It's not a really long one. So that's great. That's always great. Because if they're too long, then how will I get to be spontaneous and read other things while still sticking to having to read certain things? So the next book that I will have to read, what's this one? X's and Foes. What's this one? I don't remember this one. This one I think was a newer one I put on from last year. Oh, I remember this one. Okay. Yeah, this is one that I know that we have at our library. This is a contemporary queer romance. And I already know the one plot twist later because I was reading some reviews on this. And that was actually part of the reasons I wanted to read it anyway. So yeah, this is by Amanda Woody. And when two ex-best friends decide to hold a competition for the new girl's heart, they don't expect to fall for each other instead. Emma has been a thorn in Caleb's side since middle school. Having tarnished their friendship in 8th grade, she's now little more to him than an unkept, unruly, disastrous bisexual mess. Over the years, she's gotten in the way of every romantic relationship he's attempted to settle into, using little more than mischievous charisma to lure them into her clutches. To Emma, Caleb sets the record for world's largest stick in the mud. Uptight, unbearably tidy, and a rule follower, he's exactly the kind of boring person her mother wishes she was. When she discovers they're both after Juliet, the new girl, Emma proposes a competition to nudge him out of the way. Whoever can get Juliet to kiss them first wins, and the opposition must bow out with the promise of never talking to her again. But plans go awry when Juliet seems mostly interested in hanging out with both of them together. Emma and Caleb just have to figure out whether winning Juliet's heart is worth the torment of constantly dealing with each other, and the risk of reopening wounds from a past they thought they had left behind. And yeah, this is a queer YA contemporary romance, and that's really the only time you're going to get me to read romance, besides the one book I have to read for my random polls. The tropes in it I thought I might be interested in, I put it in the jar, and stuff like that happens. So, normally if I am going to read some romance that is not romantasy, which doesn't happen often, but if it's going to happen, it's going to be queer. And that's exactly why this one's on the list. So, yeah, this one, I'm expecting it will not go below a 3. Even though, like I said, YA romance I don't read a lot of. I don't think it's going to go below 3. It's definitely going to be at least a 3. I think if I really end up liking how the characters are and their dynamic, be a 4. I don't think it's going to have that wow factor a 5 is going to have, because I don't give out 5s a lot. But, yeah. I think if I like the characters for this, I think I'm going to enjoy it. So I think it's going to be a fun read. So those are the 2 books, and I'm making sure that I don't lose them and that these are set to the side so I can write them in my for my journal and my digital journal, because I'm extra like that. So yeah, those are the 2 random books. So after this point, I can read whatever I want to read. So usually I want to at least read one that's like a planned read that's not for any prompts. And there's one that's been on my top, like my TBR shelf is literally the top shelf. So the top of the TBR, that is actually accurate. So I thought, and this one was one I almost read the other month because of a prompt. It was the first sentence prompt for the Magical Readathon, and it just missed the family vote of which one I was going to end up reading. So I think I'm going to read that one, and that'll be the last. After this, I will be able to be spontaneous with any other books that I read. So the other one, which I do own, I bought it last year and I've been meaning to read it, is A Spell for Heart Sickness by Alistair Reeves. So it's got a really cute cover, and I know this is also starting another series. I'm bad like that. So yeah, this is book 1 in the series, and again, wow, some queer romance. This is queer romantasy, but still, I'm queer. I like reading queer books. This is how it is. So I did write down. So this is what the synopsis as it's read on Goodreads is. So Witch Blair Wingrave's time is limited. The wasting curse that killed his mother is coming for him too, consuming his magic bit by bit. At least he'll have the chance to make his name as a magical fashion designer with an elite placement in Pentawin, the country's glittering capital, after graduation. Until, that is, a prophecy sends him to the remote island of Coldra. I probably butchering that. Instead, in search of a predestined lover with a mysterious mask. When Briar arrives with a grumpy magpie familiar, Vati, he finds an unwelcoming town, a murdered poltergeist named Gretchen in his apartment, and a handsome alderman named Rowan with a haunting scar. He also gets pulled into the mysterious magic of the darkly enchanted forest that surrounds the town and seems to have something to do with his curse. As if all that weren't enough, famous witch Lyndon Fairchild has come to town, complete with a charismatic smile, an unreadable aura, and a surefire plan to cure curses. How's a cursed witch to know which enchanting man is his destiny? And can Briar possibly make an impact as a magical fashion designer in this tiny town? One thing is certain, a witch's magic requires a tithe. A berry, a feather, a cut into flesh. And Coildura may take tithes Briar isn't ready to give. So yeah, like I said, it's a queer romantasy. It sounds like there's a lot going on, but it also does sound really good. I am predicting this is going to be at least a 4-star read. I don't think this will be a 3. I think this will be a 4. This is something that is very much up my alley when it comes to books that I enjoy. So I think it's going to be at least a 4-star. Could even be a 5-star. But yeah. So I'm at the very end of my notes now. So besides my TBR, I'm going to be continuing to read One Piece. I am not completely caught up. I actually got into One Piece, last year. I think that was December. I got into One Piece back in December. I had watched the live action show, the first season of that, and I had really enjoyed it. I have a coworker that's really into One Piece and has been watching it. So, and then also learning the fact that we had all the manga at the Meg branch. It finally got me. It's just the thing, like, seeing the episode count versus the volume count. Why watch it when I can read it? My thoughts was maybe eventually watch it. Honestly, I don't think I'm going to watch the anime. Yeah, I'm going to be a One Piece fan, manga only. And I'd say live action also with that too. I will say I did have thoughts on season 2 though. I did have thoughts with season 2. So, I'm not as excited for when season 3 comes out because it might make me mad. I don't know. But, yeah, so I read it. Currently, as of filming this of May 19th, I am on volume 74, though I am going to read 74 and 75 today because I have 4 more coming in for deliveries to pick up for my holds. So I should be getting 4 when I go into work tomorrow. So I want to at least bring in 4. I've got 2 red that I read. One red I read earlier today, and the other one I read last night. So I need to read at least 2 more. So I should be on volume 76 by the end of the day. By the time that June actually comes around, I should at least have read another minimum 4 volumes. Hopefully another 8. So, yeah, I've been flying right through that. Yeah, I mean, I would like to have flown a little bit more through it. I was kind of neglecting my book reading, so, but, yeah, One Piece. So I'll be continuing to read that. That's, like, the main priority manga read. I think I have 1 book on pre-order that's manga, but I don't remember which. Thought I had it written in my notes. So I do know that besides that, I'm probably going to maybe buy volume 2. I know this was originally a light volume series. Oh my goodness. Charlie, my kitty, is meowing like crazy. Hello! Charlie, I didn't know you had the hot thought. She has thoughts about manga. Yeah, you have some thoughts. Mm-hmm. I didn't know. That's your favorite manga? I know she watches anime. Yeah, you do. If I'm watching anime, you come sit on the couch and you watch anime with me. Mm-hmm. You watch some BL? Mm-hmm. Yep. Anyway, she's probably going to keep meowing. But I know this was originally a light novel series. I did get volume 1 of the manga adaptation. I watched the anime and I had really liked it. It's The Other World's Books Depend on the Bean Counter. So I have 1 and I read it. So I'm planning on probably buying volume 2 and reading that. There's a couple of manga that I need to get. I want to get all of those ones most likely to read. I also have just been sitting at like number 9. I've read all of Given. I had 9 because that's the only one my library didn't have. So eventually at some point I'd like to buy the rest of those. But yeah, and then there's like 2 other series that I'm getting, like, one I already have it pre-ordered, it's not going to come out till later. And then the other one I'd like to get the collector's editions of. But yeah, I have a couple series that I'm reading, but like the volumes aren't coming out for like a while now. So I think with that one, I might end up trying to see if I could maybe find another one that seems interesting at the store. I did finish reading up like a 2 series like BL. I bought the second one and hadn't gotten to it, so yeah, what all besides that I'll read for manga, don't know. I do know I'm going to try reading another volume of Bone. I've been kind of neglecting that, so yeah. This was probably way too long. But this is my June. It's my June TBR, little girl. Yeah. You saying bye? She says, stop recording. You're supposed to give me pets. Anyway, yeah, that's my June TBR. I'll be seeing you next week if everything goes planned.